Welcome to the run-in on BT Sport as we rapidly approach the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, Fastlane. And if literally the entire history of WWE has taught us anything, it's that there are going to be plenty more bumps in the road to come. Bobby Lashley has a huge target on his back, Drew and Sheamus can't stop battering each other, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are on the same team for now, and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan have generously found time to have an enormous Universal title match before WrestleMania. Now, joining us to talk about Fastlane, as ever, it's the run-in regulars, Trent Seven and Ginny. Ginny, how are you doing?
I am very well. I'm good. How are you?
Brilliant, thank you. All the better for seeing Trent with his hair down. It means he's relaxed, you know. I imagine he may not be wearing smart trousers.
No, I am casually wearing shorts of the lounge variety.
Prove it.
Oh,
Can we describe that as a lounge short, or is that a boxer short?
No, it's a lounge short, premium cotton. I think anything with a more firmer texture would obviously be classified as maybe a chino short or a day short. But yeah, lounge.
Now, look, get your loungewear on, sit back and relax, because we are heading into the 6th Fastlane event, and it's already had a few fairly memorable moments, so as long as you've got your most comfortable pair of shorts on, you can really lean back and enjoy this one.
Shane McMahon! What the? Shane's had enough. Here we go! Shane hit with an AA! Kevin Owens hit with an AA! Cena is firing off! Hits one on Corbin! John Cena like a bulldozer here at Fastlane! Wow! Sami Zayn's actually going to do it!
This is apparently the ultimate sacrifice by Sami Zayn.
Do it! Kevin Owens caught! Covered by Zayn and a kick out! Roman 3/4 of the way! Oh, and nobody home! Where's your honor now, Saxton? Bailey with a belly-to-belly outside the ring!
So let's start with SmackDown and the Universal title. It seems like Edge versus Roman is the big match for WrestleMania. That's the one that all signs are pointing towards. You know, they've been spearing at each other, staring at each other, sort of ominously whispering at each other and threatening each other, just sort of in general. And then the other day, Daniel Bryan popped up, and all of a sudden, Roman Reigns has a Daniel Bryan-shaped problem in the way. Just comes into the ring the other week and cuts this fire promo to remind everybody why we love him. So let's take a quick look at that.
In the last 3 weeks, I've wrestled more matches than Roman and Edge have in the last 3 months. Between the two of them, they've wrestled 3 matches this year. I come out here every single week, and I wrestle every single night that I can because I love what I do. And then I realized that by putting myself on the back burner, I did a disservice to myself because I know what I can be. And what I can be is the absolute best.
And Bryan, big missile drop kick, dropping Uso.
God,
You
no.
gotta be kidding me!
Oh my God.
Off the top rope, a Samoan drop! Daniel Bryan trying to lock it in, and he does! Bryan with a yes lock locked in. Uso's got nowhere to go. Is he gonna tap out? Is he gonna tap out right in front of his cousin, Roman Reigns? He's got a tap. Bryan's going to Fastlane for a championship opportunity.
Here is your winner by submission, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan celebrates.
Now, there's never going to be a time that I'm not excited for a Daniel Bryan match, but it is really good to see him fired up again and doing those kind of promos in the middle of the ring. Ginny, you happy to see Daniel Bryan with the fire back in his eyes?
Oh, absolutely. I love Daniel Bryan. He is so just ever since he came into WWE, he has just proven himself time and time again. And in that exact promo as well, Roman came out and actually addressed Daniel Bryan and called him the underdog. And he is an underdog. He is someone people actually look over because he's not, you know, a 6'5", like hench man. But he is absolutely incredible. He's one of the best talents that WWE has today.
Yeah, a henchman.
Man.
Hench-
He's a
but
head man. So funny.
in the clip where we saw Roman Reigns looking on and watching Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso, just his presence alone is just absolutely incredible. I'm really excited for this match, but I think at the moment on such a massive, he's just on another level at the moment, and I think Daniel Bryan's definitely going to give him a fight. You know, I think it's going to be potentially match of the night. But I think Roman's going to walk out strong. He's just on such a roll at the moment, and I feel like he's just unstoppable.
Yeah, Trent, even when Daniel Bryan was doing his kind of Planet's Champion thing, and, you know, in theory, I know we were all meant to hate him, you sort of just can't, can you? He's been so important for the way that wrestling has changed, basically, over the last 15 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when he was the Planet's Champion, obviously, as a plant-based athlete myself, I found that quite bizarre that we were making the guy that was trying to save the planet the bad guy. But anyway, moving swiftly on, I enjoyed his wooden belt. It was lovely. And here's just a little insight into just how much someone like Daniel Bryan has affected us. As traveling all over the world and like kind of like doing the cooler stuff when we were still on the independents, me, Pete, and Tyler would often, and Mark as well, Mark Andrews, we'd often find ourselves, you know, with nothing to do and some time to kill in a hotel room. And 9 times out of 10, the first videos that would go on would be the depths of YouTube. But these were the kind of videos that they weren't just really well made. We would watch them when we would feel a little bit down, or we'd be feeling a little bit, you know, detached from wrestling, or you're a little bit tired, or you're a little bit flaked out, and you needed that little bit of juice, you needed that little bit of energy and that little bit of a motivation to go into your next match in some random place. And those are the videos that we used to watch. We used to watch the best of Bryan Danielson, the best of Daniel Bryan, the Dragon story, all that kind of stuff, and programming his career from the independents all the way to now. And I really hope at Fastlane he gets what he gets what he does deserve because the level of effect that he's had on wrestling. I mean, you can go through the roster of NXT and pretty much the main roster as well, and there's little nuances in every single brand of how he's affected a performer. You know, if we just use Pete for example, Pete Dunne, I think you've Pete, the double jump backflip over the top as an evade. You know, these are magical things that people have taken from his career and put into their careers and been incredibly successful with. But I wish him all the best at Fastlane. I don't think he's going to win. I think Roman Reigns is going to go to WrestleMania as the Universal Champion. But all in all, it's good to see Daniel Bryan at the top of the card again.
A big personality shift for Roman over the last few months, and a big personality shift on SmackDown recently for Apollo. He's probably, in his own admission, would say that he's not lived up to the potential that he feels he's had so far since he's been on the main roster. And in the last few weeks in his rivalry with Big E, we've seen this kind of mean streak come out of him. Ginny, how do you feel about this new Apollo we're seeing?
I like it. I think it's almost like the Roman Reigns factor where you realize, okay, look, I can't play Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to have to give it my all. And if it means bringing out a side to me that some people aren't used to, so be it. And I think he's done a really good job. I'm a huge fan of Big E. I absolutely love him. He's an absolutely incredible athlete. But I think now Apollo is bringing his A game, and he's wanting to prove to him, not just to himself, but to everyone, that he deserves to be higher in the card. And I think this will give him the opportunity to shine.
So yeah, Apollo Crews, obviously he had a really successful career on the independents as well. And one time I was actually scheduled to wrestle him in Italy on the top of a mountain. I'm not even lying, honest to God. It was scheduled for me to wrestle Apollo Crews on the top of a mountain in Italy. Travel situations unfortunately put a kibosh on it. So we didn't actually get to do the match in the end, and instead I fought Dave Mastiff for 30 minutes on the top of a mountain in a ring just outside a shopping centre. But just watching the entrance alone, I just think it's fantastic. He just seems to be so much more comfortable being who he is. Do you know what I mean? And kind of exploring that side of his heritage and that side of his life, and using that and telling that story. I believe, he's telling this part of his career from the heart. It's a true story. It's something that he's passionate about. It's something that the lineage of his family's history is involved in it. And absolutely, I couldn't be more happy for him. Go out there, show the world what you can do, and develop the character and just keep going. But he's a phenomenal wrestler, absolutely incredible athlete.
Moving on now to the women's tag team match. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They're teaming up for now. We've seen this before. We've seen future opponents teaming together. Generally seems to work okay for a bit. Then the combustible elements, they show up. Trent, where do you see this match going? And is the focus going to be on the tag match, or are they just going to be looking at that WrestleMania sign behind them all match?
This is one of the parts of wrestling that I really like. There was Austin and Triple H. I think they were tag team champions at one point as well. So we've seen this kind of dynamic play out a couple of times. And the one thing that I always think about when it pops up is how memorable those feuds were. How memorable those feuds were, how incredible the matches were that paid it all off at the end of the day. And you know what? I just wish the exact same thing for Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I hope that they get the exact same kind of momentum, and they get the same, the same effort put into them, and the same support from all the fans that those guys did back in the day. Because these kind of things make me really excited. So let's see them win the tag team championships, and then they can both hold up, a title each in each other's faces at WrestleMania. I think that'd be ace.
You know what? I actually like what Trent said then about if they win the tag team titles, they'd both be holding titles in each other's faces. They have winning literally at the forefront of their mind, which every single wrestler should. However, I don't think they're going to walk out as tag team champions. Shayna and Nia, they're on the same page. They don't have any animosity towards each other. They want to continue being tag team champions, and I think they're going to pull out all the stops to retain the gold. And we know what Sasha's like. She doesn't want to be playing second fiddle. We already saw her say to Bianca that you might call yourself the EST, but I am the BEST, and you are second to me. And Bianca's going to want to prove that no, girl, I am the EST. I am the number one. Oh, it's going to be an amazing match. It really is.
Now, after the break, we're going to be talking things almighty with Bobby Lashley on Raw. But before that, last week we celebrated International Women's Day by catching up with Paige and Kaylee Ray, who talked us through the rise of women in WWE. And if you look very carefully, you might even spot a cameo from one of our run-in regulars.
Let's talk about yours and Piper's match that you just had. In the first ever NXT UK's Falls Count Anywhere match, which, by the way, I just found out it was the first time and I got chills. I was like, are you kidding me?
Just, what we've been speaking about it a lot, just that trickle-down effect, like, we would never have been able to do this if we didn't have the girls before, like, absolutely busting their asses so that we could do this. But again, getting to work with Piper, getting the freedom of you've got time, like, I think this match went 20-25 minutes, and I never thought that was going to be possible for us in NXT UK, but I got to get in there with one of my best pals and do whatever we thought was, oh no, yeah.
Oh yeah, girl. History maker. That must feel so good.
A few years ago, I didn't think that would have been possible for me.
Yeah.
I've actually just thought about something that is also really quite cool. Like, I don't think I've had a match, apart from takeovers, eliminating takeovers, but I feel like any title match I've had on NXT UK has been the main event of the episode, and that's crazy. And that's not. That's because of the women before us that have shown that women deserve the main event spot, and we should be in these positions, and we can hold our own here. And it's literally only just clicked onto me now.
You're the main event player, sister. Oh my God, you need to put your name somewhere.
Welcome back to the Run-In on BT Sport, and it's time to talk about the era of the Almighty. We have got used to having our man Drew McIntyre as WWE Champion on Raw all year, but over the last few weeks, Bobby Lashley has come on and he has made the place his own. Let's have a look at how he took that title.
This is the unhinged rage of an unstoppable man. Yes!
No. Mr. Money in the Bank, The Miz, with a referee in tow. The Miz is WWE Champion. The Hurt Lock.
It is cinched in. Center of the ring, nowhere to go.
The Miz is tapping. The reign of the Almighty is upon us.
And the new WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley.
Lashley letting all the blood
Oh, head of the Miz. This is not good at all for the Miz.
Lashley sending Miz into the post. Oh, an almighty spine buster. And now the Hurt Lock, the inevitable Hurt Lock, the full Nelson.
Middle of the ring and nowhere to go.
And Miz taps again. Lashley retains.
Here's your winner by submission, and still the WWE Champion, the Almighty Bobby Lashley.
Trent, how much do you feel like Bobby has earned this spot?
Yeah, as far as Bobby Lashley as a man, he, like you said, he's been in and around the WWE for a long time now, and from every experience I've ever had with him, or anywhere near him, or even just watching him, he's a consummate professional. He goes about his he goes about his business, and I think joining MVP, joining the Hurt business has kind of like just given him that extra level now where he's he's propelled himself to the very, very top of the card. But I don't know. I was pretty shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, in my head, Drew McIntyre was defending that title at WrestleMania against Sheamus. I just had it in. If someone had said I'll take a bet, I'd have stuck 50 quid on it, hands down. I'd have said, yeah, absolutely, guaranteed, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus for that title. And now, like we were just saying, the bubbling and the boiling pot for that, the run into WrestleMania, it's just everywhere. I couldn't believe it when The Miz took it. Then I knew, in the back of my mind, I thought there's going to be something else coming now. And then, Bobby Lashley coming through this first title. But yeah, fair play to Bobby Lashley. He's put in some effort. I don't know how old he is. He could be 31, 12. He could be about 67. God knows how old he is. Because I looked at a picture of him. Something like 15, 20 years ago, something like that. I was like, oh, come on, just grow up. What is your skincare regime? Like, what is your nightly regime?
Ginny, he's got the new entrance and everything on Monday Night Raw. He's got lightning, fireworks, big pictures of himself and his incredible skincare regime. He's certainly got that star power thing, hasn't he?
Oh gosh, he has got star written all over him. And I have to actually say, I love all the suits that the Hurt Business wear. They have got their fashion sense on point. Props from me, honestly. I absolutely love it. I love this new attitude change. I really do. I think it's a really good thing. It's almost, again, like I keep going back to Roman, but people are realizing sometimes you have to bring a little bit more. You have to have a little bit more fight, a little bit more attitude. Like Bobby Lashley said in a promo recently, he waited 16 years for this opportunity. 16 years. Anyone who's waited that long is going to have so much emotion, anger, and passion just waiting to be released. And him like aligning himself with MVP was such a smart move. It really was, because MVP has been in the business since 2002. You know, it's all the tricks of the trade, and just seeing this new change in Bobby is amazing, and he deserves to be where he is right now.
So the ultimate good guy, Drew McIntyre, he's made it very clear that he wants to go back on the WWE title charge, but he's got a huge Irish obstacle in the way at the moment, and him and Sheamus have been knocking lumps out of each other on Raw. So why not have a look at some lumps being knocked out?
I know you're dangerous, because so am I, and you push me.
Oh my God, that's Sheamus! Sheamus attacking Drew McIntyre!
Just unleashing on McIntyre, these two former best friends.
Well, best friends no more.
Oh! Look out, and Sheamus sent over the announce desk. Oh! Spine first onto the steel.
Oh, this is a special kind of malice from Sheamus.
Here.
Well, he's gonna do.
Oh, and a superplex off the top.
What is this?
McIntyre and Sheamus with steel in hand. Oh my God!
Sheamus, let's go. That's it. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. That's it. I need help. I need medical assistance. Okay.
How good, firstly, has Sheamus been in ring this year at bringing that like insanely intense physical style?
Oh, I love this. You know what? I'm actually really loving the fact that there are so many people having attitude changes. And it's not even in a bad way. I think it's just pent up aggression and frustration, seeing people almost, you know, just pass you by when you are putting the same amount of effort in and you're being overlooked and overshadowed. And obviously we know the history between Drew and Sheamus. They came into WWE together. They've been friends for years. Seeing Drew where Sheamus wants to be, it has lit something under him, and he has been bringing this nastiness, this aggression, this arrogance. It's because he's proving a point. He wants to prove that he is as good as, if not better than Drew, and he's going the right way about it, if I'm honest.
Trent, I know you're a Drew man. You're not having any of this Sheamus talk, are you?
Yeah, I mean, if you made me pick, I'm a Drew man. But yeah, you know, just going back to that, you know, Sheamus has had a wonderful career, and rightly so. He's been a top level performer, top level guy, locker room leader. He just ticks every box. He's an absolutely phenomenal talent, and you know, I'm pretty sure that wrestling is better off, and WWE is better off for having him in it. Absolutely, like, hands down. He's had some incredible moments, but you like Ginny said, like, you can kind of see the frustration and this pent-up kind of aggression coming out in a lot of people. And I'm not going to lie, I'm enjoying watching it. This is brutal professional wrestling. They're hacking lumps out of each other left, right, and centre. Looking at the kind of the end of that match there, the way that finished, I don't know whether, you know, I'm automatically kind of feeding myself into wanting a Falls Count Anywhere or something like that, maybe just something a little bit more aggressive at WrestleMania, or I don't know what's going to happen. But I tell you what I do want to do. I want them to try and save a couple of lumps being hacked out of each other for WrestleMania, because Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus is a WrestleMania match that needs to happen, and I hope it happens at this one.
That would be amazing. I'd love to see them two go at it at WrestleMania, 100%. If we thought what's happening now is brutal, when you get to WrestleMania, like, it's the biggest stage of them all, you know it's going to be nothing in comparison to what they'll do to each other at WrestleMania.
That is all we have time for on this episode of The Run-In. My thanks, as ever, go to my run-in pals, Ginny and Trent. Thank you very much. And we finally almost have all the pieces of the WrestleMania puzzle in place. All we have to do now is put on the indicator and veer dangerously into the fast lane for a Sunday evening at a very generous time of 11 p.m. this month, which, you know, British audience, enjoy that. And you can watch that live on BT Sport Box Office. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.